This is definitely the best sausage roll I've ever had.
I love brown sauce. Brown sauce is my jam.
Clotted cream is like my favorite thing in the world.
It straight up tastes like fish jello. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to show you some of the must-try dishes here in London.
I think some people slag off British food sometimes for not being the most divine or most decadent, but that doesn't mean that the UK doesn't have amazing food. Especially in the capital in London, there are so many amazing restaurants and food markets. So today we're going to show you some British classics and also some weird old school dishes.
You can't really come to the UK without having a full English breakfast. I mean, they serve them pretty much in every country in the UK. I think Scotland has their own variety. They have their own variety in Wales, which we tried. It came with seaweed. So you have to have an English breakfast when you come. And it's the perfect way to start the day. So the one that we got comes with baked beans, as it always does, sausage, mushrooms, black pudding, hash browns, and an egg. Also some toast. I don't know how you could possibly start your day like this and eat all of this. I feel like I would be comatose for the rest of the day if I started my day with this, but it is a very filling, protein-packed meal. I feel like this is more of a worker's kind of meal that people would eat back in the day to fuel themselves for a long, hard day of work. But we work on the computer, so maybe we don't need something like this, but it looks pretty delicious. I'm gonna start with the sausage. That sausage tastes like the breakfast sausages that you get in North America, except usually they're like thinner, but this is like a chunky fat version. It's really good. I also really want to try this black pudding because I love black pudding. Although it sounds intimidating, it's made from blood. As we've said before, it does not taste like blood, at least usually. Yeah, it's delicious. It's lightly pan fried, so it's like has this little kind of crust. It's a little bit gritty, but the flavor is really delicious.
I like this bacon. I normally don't prefer the kind of British thicker bacon, but this one's quite delicious. It's almost like a little thin pork chop or something. The sausage is also good. It actually has like a little snap and it's a bit, harder. I feel like a lot of British sausages, they're very soft and this one's not like that. It's good. I guess I'm becoming more and more a fan of black sausage. And final thing, British people love white bread. I think Warburton's or something? What's the brand?
Yeah.
It's like their favorite. This is good toast with good butter. Good addition to the meal. We're eating this at Andrew's restaurant, which we found on one of the lists, I think for 2023, online for like best greasy spoons in London. And this is really good value. They serve all day breakfast. They're only open till 3:30. So basically, they're this breakfast restaurant, and you can also add different things to your meal. Like we, for example, added the black pudding, and you can add tomato, which I think is a very common thing people eat with their English breakfast, and other things, extra hash browns and things like that. And we pay $9.70 or something like that, and you get also the coffee or tea with it. So this is really good value, I think, especially because you're going to be stuffed after.
Now I'm going to try the hash brown. It's pretty greasy though, it's like soaked in grease. Maybe you can see the shine. I feel like the hash brown has been like sitting in the mushroom juice, so it tastes like mushrooms, but I love mushrooms, so it tastes good, but it's a little bit wet because of that. It's still delicious. I think the mushrooms are one of my favorite parts of one of these meals, because when else do you start your day with a plate of mushrooms? I don't know. We're gonna polish this off and then head off to our next stop. We We came to the ginger pig for our next item, which of course is a sausage roll. A lot of people said that this is one of the best sausage rolls in London. It was, I think, voted that before, and I've seen other people try it and it looks amazing. I don't think I've ever had a hot sausage roll. I think I've only had them cold at like places like Greg's and stuff like that, and this is served piping hot. We decided to get the pork and Stilton. They had a couple different varieties. I think they had a lamb one and a traditional one, but this one really spoke to us because we love Stilton, we love cheese, so I'm excited to give this a go. It looks really fancy. It's like an elevated sausage roll. Oh my god. That's friggin' amazing. Wow. Okay, I know I say that a lot. I always say, oh, everything's amazing. This is amazing. You can really taste the cheese. The crust is so flaky and buttery. It's a little bit greasy, obviously, because there's a lot of pork in here and a high fat content, but obviously this is the best sausage roll I've ever had. I mean, I've only had Greg, so this is freaking incredible, but the cheese really, I think, is what makes it. It makes it stand out from a traditional sausage roll. So you definitely need to try this if you ever come to London.
This is the biggest sausage roll I've ever seen. I lived in the UK for 5 years in the past, so I've had some. This looks like it's going to be the best one I've ever tried, to be honest. Apparently now they use puff pastry, but in the past, in the 19th century, they used short crust pastry. So that's interesting. This is definitely the best sausage roll I've ever had. 100 times better than Greg's. This is like another level. The meat is so tasty. It's like, it has these like herbs in it, and the cheese is delicious. This pastry is delicious. Yeah, 10 out of 10, definitely. Another item that you definitely have to try when you come to London or England in general, the UK, is a Scotch egg, which is an egg coated in sausage meat and breadcrumbs and either deep fried or baked. And apparently back in the days, it might have been called scorch egg because it was put in the fire. We came to Shellseekers at Borough Market, where they have these eggs and they are warm actually, because you can have them warm and or cold. You can buy them here in the supermarket as well and just eat them from the cold aisle, just like sausage rolls. They put some sea salt on top and they served it with brown sauce. And brown sauce is very popular in the UK and Ireland, similar to Worcestershire sauce. I don't know how to say that ever, but it's either tart or sweet and peppery. And usually you get it at chip shops. Ooh, this is very crisp on the outside. I also think this is going to be the best Scotch egg I've ever had. I've never had them warm before, I don't think. The sauce is definitely tart, not really sweet, vinegary. And I remember, I don't like brown sauce. I never used to get it while I lived here, but it's all right. But let me try the egg on its own. I love the sea salt and pepper on top. The sausage meat actually tastes like sausage, kind of like a chorizo a bit. I don't know. It's a bit spicy actually. Maybe it's from the pepper. The egg is perfect. Yeah, this is really yummy.
We actually got 2 Scotch eggs. We decided to get a Scotch egg at the Ginger Pig as well, because we saw them sitting there in the stand and they looked good. This is meant to be blood pudding, but I really don't think it is. Just tastes like a traditional one. I guess maybe there's like tiny specks of blood or something inside. And we actually saw people walking around with the other Scotch egg, and we saw that it had this nice runny yolk, and it was of course served hot. So we wanted to try that one as well. And after seeing this one, which is served cold, the egg's not as runny, I definitely prefer the other one. I prefer it warm, and I prefer it with the brown sauce. So if I had to pick between the Ginger Pig and Shellseeker, I would definitely go with Shellseeker, because that's the better Scotch egg for sure. But yeah, Scotch eggs, if you come to the UK, definitely need to try one. I think it's fair to say that the most iconic dish in the UK is fish and chips. I mean, everywhere you go, there's fish and chip shops all over the place. And in our previous video, we had fish and chips, but we had it at a pub, and everybody told us to get the best fish and chips, you should have it at a chippy. So we came to the Golden Chippy here, and we are super excited to try it out. We ordered the cod, single piece, with chips and some mushy peas. I think Mike Chen came here in one of his videos, and it looked really, really good. So I'm looking forward to this. Our fish has finally arrived, so I'm super excited to try this. We got cod, although they had a couple different options. They had haddock, which is what I would traditionally eat back in Halifax, but cod is still delicious as well. All right. You hear that? Super crispy. Oh, the fish is so flaky as well. I'm putting a little bit of tartar sauce on it because tartar sauce is amazing. And there's this jar on the table. I think that's as good as fish and chips gets. The batter's really light, super crispy. The fish is really light and fluffy. It's not fishy at all. This is essentially the perfect fish and chips. Let's try a chip. Oh, it broke apart. Yeah. I would have to say that we aren't necessarily the biggest fan of chips. Like if I could choose another variety of fries, I probably would, but these are really good. They're actually crispy and kind of like fluffy and mashed potato on the inside. They're not soggy like they can be sometimes, so yeah, that's really enjoyable.
This place has been around since 1977, and the owner, who is Chris Canisi, I think, he actually came to London or the UK, I'm not sure, to study medicine and to become a doctor, but instead he opened a chip shop, and now it's one of the most successful ones in London. So let's try. And I think cod is the most common fish that I eat here. It's very flaky. The batter is a lot thicker than the fish and chips we had in Canada. The fish is very, very moist. The tartar sauce they have here in another jar, delicious. I also like that it comes with a little salad, because I feel like most chip shops, they don't give you that. And let me see the peas. The peas are mushy, but they still have full peas in them.
The peas were extra.
I like them better if they're not completely mush. I feel like when they're only mush, they're not as good. Chip. I feel like the chips could be a bit more crispy.
I feel like as far as fish and chips goes, they're pretty crispy.
Is it bad if I say I prefer fries? But now I feel like I prefer this fish over the Canadian one we tried. I'm curious to know which is the best fish and chip shop in London. If you're from here, what's your favorite? And which fish do you normally get? Cod, haddock, or something else? Let us know in the comments. If you come to the UK, and especially to London, you probably want to have some afternoon tea. And something that a lot of people have is high tea, which probably everyone has seen before. It's this thing of different levels of cakes and sandwiches, and you drink tea and you sit in a nice tea room. But we're planning on doing that in the future when our channel is successful and we have loads of money, because that's actually quite expensive. Some places charge £35 per person for having like a high tea experience. But something else you can have is tea and cream, which is scones, clotted cream, and tea. Those tea houses usually offer that too, and it's a lot cheaper, just like £9 or something like that. We came to Gail's bakery, which is a chain, but they've been around since 2005, I think, and they mostly just use natural ingredients and the tea leaves as well. It says they come directly from the tea gardens and stuff like that. We have scones, and if you've seen our videos in the past, you know we love scones with clotted cream and jam. So I'm gonna shut up and eat this. Clotted cream is like my favorite thing in the world. Like, the cream tastes so rich and milky, and I've said this before, I don't understand why the whole world doesn't use clotted cream. It's like 10 times better than butter. And the scone is actually not dry at all. It has sultanas or raisins. It's just delicious.
It's so weird. When Ani was spreading the clotted cream on this, it looked like marshmallow fluff. It was so stringy and had this like crazy pull to it. I don't feel it's always like that, but this one was like really stringy. I already tasted this jam a little bit and it's so sweet, and I'm like very, very excited to try this. Man, is it just me, or is this scone a lot sweeter than some of the other ones? I feel like it's got this like crust. It's really, really good. It just tastes sweeter than the ones we've had, but we've never had a bad scone. Like every time we have them, I just realize how much I love them. They're amazing. And this one particularly is really good. But of course, we didn't come here just for that. We came here for tea as well. And honestly, we prefer to drink our tea without milk or with very little milk. This time we got no milk at all. Just a nice, clean flavor. It goes really well with the scone. And we got English breakfast. Yeah, it's delicious. This is another great way to start the day when you're in the UK.
No, afternoon.
Or this is another great way to start your afternoon. This would be great at any time of day. I don't really care. It's amazing.
So you need to watch these videos and like and subscribe so that one day we can also have high tea.
Help us, we're poor.
The next dish we're going to try is called chicken tikka masala, which is obviously an Indian dish, but there's actually quite a big Indian population in the UK. And chicken tikka masala was actually invented in the UK. It was invented in Scotland by a Bangladeshi chef, and it's one of the national dishes in the UK, along with fish and chips. So it's super popular, and I don't think I've ever eaten it, actually. I've had it like in a sandwich form or something. And also, apparently, a fifth of restaurants in the UK is curry houses. So curry is just generally super popular in the UK. It's similar to butter chicken, but not as, I don't know, I guess buttery. But it's very sweet. It's not very spicy at all, which is actually surprising because in my experience, Indian food in the UK is more spicy than where I'm from in Germany, but this is similar. It's delicious though. It's just like very rich, sweet, tomatoey sauce. Yeah.
We ordered this with cheese naan. We also got some starters as well, some papadam and some stuffed mushrooms, but we're here for this. Now, in Malaysia and India, I feel like you're supposed to eat with your hands a lot of the time, so I'm gonna go for that, and I'm gonna eat the chicken tikka masala with my hands in this cheesy naan, which smells amazing. And I think you're supposed to always use your right hand because the other hand is for wiping. Yeah, that's delicious. As Ani said, really tomatoey. There's a tang to it, but it's not as creamy as a butter chicken. As Ani said, there's a lot of Indian restaurants here. I think over 3% of the population in the UK is Indian. They're from Indian heritage. So, yeah, the Indian food is quite good in the UK. We've had it twice already in the UK, and it was definitely more spicy at the other places, but this is amazing, and this is something that you can eat, and I feel like your tummy's gonna be okay later.
I think the spice level of this is perfect for me, because I'm not good with spicy food. And I think, along with butter chicken and chicken korma, this would be my favorite curry, because it's so sweet and yummy.
We are now at Goddard's at Greenwich, and we went with two very traditional foods. And the first one we have here is pie and mash, and then with it we have these jellied eels, which are a little bit intimidating. So this is considered very working class food. It's cheap. Even now it's cheap. I think this was only like £9 between everything, and you can find pies obviously all over the UK. But this one is special because it comes with this liquor sauce. And this sauce is made from, I guess, parsley, chicken stock, flour, maybe sometimes cornstarch, and I guess sometimes the eel juice. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to taste. I think the pie is just a traditional beef mince pie. There was a couple other options, but we just ordered this and she just gave us this one, so I guess this is what we're meant to have. I'm going to go straight in and try the pie. It's very fragrant even from here. All right, let's try this out. So hot. That's good. I wouldn't say that I taste any eel or fishiness to it. It just kind of tastes like a chicken gravy with parsley. That's what it tastes like. It's a nice accompaniment to the beef mince. It's a little bit conflicting, but at the same time it works. I don't know. Let's try this mash. And then smashed potatoes. It's delicious. It's really salty too. It doesn't really have that much flavor when you eat it on its own, but it's still really good. I was a little bit scared, but not bad.
It's kind of weird. The parsley almost makes it taste a bit like medicine or something. I don't know. It didn't really taste the pie. It's good. I feel like I've had better pies. The sauce kind of becomes one with the beef mince, but pretty interesting. I like the mash. Kind of is like buttery too, I feel like. But yeah, you should definitely eat a pie when you come to London. Pies are super famous. I suppose in Sweeney Todd, she made pies too. In London. This is a cat. This is a cool place and it's super busy. Everyone's here eating pies and liquor. And let's see what these eels are gonna be like. So I have jellied eels here, which look very terrifying. Apparently the Thames used to be full of eels, and this became a food for the poor back in the 18th century. And people really loved this. Apparently you put the eels in a pot and boil them in a stock, and then when they cool down, they form a jelly. So it's kind of like head cheese, but with eel. And apparently there's a bone in there as well.
Yeah, she said to be very careful.
I don't really know. Are you supposed to eat the jelly on its own? Like there's so much jelly. I guess I'll get a big piece of eel.
Wait.
I don't know. I do not like the jelly. No. First of all, this is cold. The jelly's very salty. And just the consistency, not my thing. I know apparently a lot of older folks in London really like this. Let me just try the eel. The eel is fine. I feel like I would have to scrape off the jelly to eat this. And there's not much that kind of makes me feel cool. But this is not my favorite, I'm sorry.
This is technically an iconic dish. It's very old school, as Anya was saying. So it's something that we definitely want to try it, and we think you should definitely try it when you come here. I mean, I'm saying that now, but I haven't tried it yet. You need to try everything at least once, so I'm gonna give it a go. I'm actually excited to try this. The girl at the counter told us that you're supposed to top this with vinegar and pepper, so that's what we did. I need some more of the jelly. It straight up tastes like fish jello. That's what it tastes like, a savory jello with fishiness. For me, it's honestly not that bad. I mean, it's not great, I wouldn't pick it, but Anya was on the verge of almost puking, and she's never like that, but for me, it's okay. The eel itself, I think, is good. It's kind of meaty, like eel usually is. We've had eel multiple times in Japanese food, and we really like it, so I feel like with a different preparation, this would maybe be better, but it's not terrible. I think it's definitely worth a try if you come to London.
We came to the Pig and Butcher. It's super loud in here, so I hope you can hear me. We came here for a very, very famous and traditional British meal, the Sunday roast. Apparently this dish used to be eaten after church on the Sunday. It started in Yorkshire, from what I read. And now people eat it on Sundays, but also on other days. We're here on the Sunday. We've been to the UK a few times, and Brandon always wanted a Sunday roast, but we were never here on the Sunday. So finally we're having a Sunday roast. And we got the salt-aged Yorkshire sirloin. It comes with glazed carrots, potatoes, a Yorkshire pudding, which is this thing. Greens and creamed leek. I don't know what creamed leek is, but it looks delicious. And obviously it has gravy on top.
The beef looks amazing.
The beef is served pink. They say they only serve it like that. I don't know how I'm gonna eat this. I guess you're supposed to have a piece of the Yorkshire pudding. And this one is very soft. It's not like hard like some other ones sometimes are. It looks very eggy. I love the creamed leek. I don't think I've ever had that. I don't think it always comes with the Sunday roast, but that's really, really good.
I can smell it from here.
It has like Parmesan on top, and it's just creamy, saucy deliciousness. The meat is really nice, and the Yorkshire pudding is probably my favorite. It's really like soft and fluffy and eggy. It's a really good Sunday roast.
As Anya said, I've been waiting to have a Sunday roast forever. The closest we ever came was when we had the Yorkshire burrito, which was essentially a Sunday roast wrapped in a big Yorkshire pudding. We also had a giant Yorkshire pudding when we were in Nottingham, but this is the real deal. I've been waiting forever, so let's dig in. Oh yeah, that meat is so tender. It is perfect, it is salty. There's the savoriness from the gravy as well. The potatoes are perfectly roasted. They're nice and soft. I want to try this leek thing though. You talked it up. It reminds me of like a cream of leek soup, except there's massive chunks of leek inside. That's really delicious. There's also this massive carrot. It's literally an entire carrot cut in half. It's good too. Everything here is really tasty. My first roast dinner definitely did not disappoint. Delicious.
And you can have 4 different options here for the roast. I think it's 4. You can obviously have the sirloin, and they have a lamb shank, they have chicken, and they also have a nut roast. Either way, there's different options, so everyone will be happy. This is the end of our video. Thanks for watching. We're so full that Brandon had to collapse on a bench in the park because we can't go anywhere anymore.
We think that the UK does have a lot of great food to offer. You just need to know where to look. Especially, I feel like, in the fusion kind of foods that there is. It can be really, really amazing sometimes. But that is it for this tour. You're stuffed, stays over, and we hope that we will see you in the next one. So make sure to write us a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and all those things, and we will see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.